Hello all, Onika here. Yesterday I posted a Facebook comment that stated I was ready to move from organizational communication into broadcast communication. And one of the funniest comments that I received was, I don't even know what the hell organizational communication is. Well, Sam, organizational communication is the set of messages that are sent and ultimately interpreted within an organizational setting. Now, when I talk about an organization, of course, I mean large organizations and corporations like those that may be listed on or as Fortune 500 companies. But I'm also thinking about those small organizations like local churches, basketball teams, or even families. And when I look at those organizations, they all have some type of hierarchical structure. Now, of course, if we're talking about a Fortune 500 company, that hierarchy is very clearly defined. There is an org chart with the CEO and president at the top, and then vice presidents, and then various executives, and then a management team, and then a frontline workforce. But when you're talking about, just say, an organization like a family, then that hierarchy structure may not be as clearly defined. I mean, most families don't have an org chart, but we know that mom and dad usually sit at the top of that hierarchy structure, and that the children or others who come into the family usually fall under what mom and dad have to say in their authoritative position. So, as an organizational communication expert, it is my job to observe all the messages that are sent within that organization. And when I say messages, I mean the written messages, which would be policies and rules. I mean the behavioral messages, meaning do people actually align their behavior with those rules and policies? And I'm talking about verbal messages. Are people actually saying and repeating that same message that the organization actually stands for? So when I take all of that into context, I start with the organization's mission, their vision, their value system, and then I began to ask questions. Do the policies that currently stand in the organization, do they complement the vision or where they're wanting the organization to go? If we find that policies do not align with that vision, is management willing to change those policies? Are they listening to hear what the employees have to say about those policies? Are they taking that input and those employee issues into consideration before they start sending down new messages? Are they rewarding those employees or those basketball team players or those family members whose behavior is aligned with that organization's vision or mission or value system? So these are the types of elements that an organizational communication expert is taking into consideration, and then after a good assessment has actually been obtained by me, I come up with an actionable plan that uses all of those communication channels, the written, the verbal, the behavior, and I try to leverage our activities so that management, the workforce, and other stakeholders are all moving toward that common organizational goal, that vision, that mission. And that's what a good organizational communication expert does. And that's all that I have to say about that.